Atlantis. The name conjures images of a technologically advanced civilization swallowed by the sea. It's a story that has captivated imaginations for millennia, a blend of history, myth, and mystery. But what is the truth behind the legend? Where did the story of Atlantis originate, and what evidence do we have for its existence? The story of Atlantis first appears in the writings of the Greek philosopher Plato, around 360 BC. In his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Plato describes a powerful island nation existing some 9,000 years before his time. This nation, Atlantis, was a naval power situated in front of the Pillars of Hercules. Most scholars place the Pillars of Hercules at the Strait of Gibraltar. According to Plato, the Atlanteans were a proud and powerful people. They possessed advanced technology and a complex social structure. However, their ambition ultimately led to their downfall. When the Atlanteans attempted to conquer Athens, they were defeated by the Athenian army. As punishment for their hubris, the gods sent earthquakes and floods, sinking Atlantis beneath the waves in a single day and night. The story of Atlantis, as told by Plato, has resonated throughout history. It represents a cautionary tale of a civilization destroyed by its own hubris. But was Atlantis a real place or merely a philosophical allegory crafted by Plato to illustrate a point? The question of Atlantis's historicity has been debated for centuries. Some scholars believe that Plato based his account on a real historical event, perhaps a catastrophic volcanic eruption or earthquake, that destroyed a Minoan settlement on the island of Thera, which is modern-day Santorini. The destruction of Thera by a volcanic eruption around 1600 BC was a cataclysmic event. It devastated the Minoan civilization, one of the most advanced cultures in the Bronze Age Mediterranean. Could this event be the inspiration for Plato's Atlantis story? Others argue that Atlantis is purely an allegorical creation, designed by Plato to explore themes of power, corruption, and the impermanence of civilization. Plato was known to use fictional dialogues to illustrate philosophical points. In the absence of definitive archaeological evidence, the debate over the historical basis of Atlantis continues. It's important to note that no surviving Egyptian records mention Atlantis, despite Plato's claim of Egyptian priests sharing the story. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the legend of Atlantis has inspired countless expeditions and investigations. The search for Atlantis has taken researchers to every corner of the globe, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Atlantic Ocean and beyond. Some researchers have focused their efforts on areas around the Mediterranean, seeking connections to Minoan or other Bronze Age cultures. Others have looked further afield, proposing locations as diverse as the Azores, the Canary Islands, and even Antarctica. One popular theory places Atlantis in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, inspired by the name itself. However, geological evidence makes a sunken continent in the Atlantic highly unlikely. The theory of plate tectonics, while explaining the movement of continents, does not support the existence of a large sunken landmass in the Atlantic. Section 4. Sunken Continents and Volcanic Cataclysms. Theories of Atlantis. Over the centuries, numerous theories have been proposed to explain the Atlantis legend. Some theories invoke natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or tsunamis to explain the sudden disappearance of Atlantis. Others propose more speculative ideas, such as Atlantis being a remnant of a lost continent like Mu or Lemuria. These continents, however, are not recognized by modern geology. The idea of lost continents often arises from a misunderstanding of plate tectonics. The theory of an asteroid impact has also been proposed as a possible cause for the destruction of Atlantis. While asteroid impacts are a known force in Earth's history, there's no evidence to link any known impact with the time frame or location proposed for Atlantis. Despite the plethora of theories, none have been able to definitively pinpoint the location of Atlantis or provide conclusive evidence of its existence. Many of these theories rely on speculation, pseudoscience, or misinterpretations of ancient texts. Section 5. The weight of evidence, archaeology, and the search for Atlantis. From an archaeological perspective, the evidence for a real Atlantis remains elusive. No underwater city matching Plato's descriptions has ever been discovered. While numerous submerged ruins exist worldwide, they have been attributed to other cultures and time periods. Some proponents point to enigmatic underwater structures, such as the Bimini Road in the Bahamas, as possible evidence of Atlantean construction. However, geological explanations for these formations exist, and they lack the cultural artifacts or evidence of human habitation that would be expected of a sophisticated civilization like Atlantis. Furthermore, the time frame presented by Plato for Atlantis, 9,000 years before his time, predates the development of writing, metallurgy, and other technologies attributed to the Atlanteans. This discrepancy further weakens the argument for a historical Atlantis. While the lack of definitive archaeological evidence does not entirely disprove the existence of Atlantis, it does highlight the need for extraordinary evidence to support such an extraordinary claim.